Hi, I'm back with a tiny little mic. So I'm actually back today with a vlog. A couple of weekends ago, we had a holiday here in Japan. It's a national holiday called Umi no Hi, or Marine Day. So our weekend plans that me and my friend Faith had for this particular weekend included going to a dentist appointment, which don't freak out, I didn't vlog my dentist appointment, seeing this really, really big statue, and then going to Tokyo for the rest of the day the next day. Me and my friend Faith, who she's also an ALT, and she also works at a school that's she's like 15 minutes away, so she's pretty close. She and I actually made appointments to go to the dentist together. Daibutsu, first of all, is a term for these really, really big Buddha statues. The biggest one in Japan is in Ibaraki. And so after our dentist appointment, we decided that we were going to go see it since we were so close. So at this place, Faith ended up ordering these, I think they were called caramel nut waffles, and they looked really good and they smelled really good. What's it called again?
Caramel waffles.
And I ended up ordering this smoked salmon and avocado waffle thing. It was really delicious. I love going to like small local places here. So when we finished at the cafe, we drove to the area where the Daibutsu is. And it's so interesting because it's I don't know, it's kind of odd because it's really just out in the middle of nowhere. There's not really anything else in the area. This is actually the fifth tallest statue in the world. It's actually taller than the Statue of Liberty. I think it's 330 feet, something like that. So this particular daibutsu sets on really nice grounds. There's a bunch of gardens in the area that you can walk through, and there's also a museum inside the statue. We didn't really feel like paying the admission fees. We weren't really there to spend the rest of the day or anything. It was really, really hot. But there were some omiyage shops that you could visit right outside the sort of admission area. Faith and I bought these Ibaraki melon ice creams.
Wait, turn your camera. Turn yourself. You're right by the diving food.
Oh. And we did walk around a little bit around the outside of the grounds just to kind of see the statue from some different angles. And it's a really great area to walk around in general, even if you don't pay the admission fee. I would eventually like to visit the museum, but maybe we'll do that some other time. And also, I kind of have to mention this, but if you're an internet lurker like me and you like to explore subreddits, then you may have seen pictures of the statue before because pictures of this daibutsu often show up on the megalophobia subreddit. So that's, like the fear of giant things. And it's not a fear I personally have, but I can understand the feelings of somebody who does have megalophobia because I think there is something kind of freaky about things that are that big, man-made things. So I kind of understand. So the plan on Sunday was actually to have a kind of market day. It's something that I have kind of wanted to do for a while, but all over Tokyo, they have various open air like flea markets and antique markets, and that was kind of the plan. It wasn't meant to be because it ended up being a very rainy day. Surely it won't rain. Surely it won't rain on market day. But yeah, it did. Yeah, it rained for a good, I would say, like first half of Sunday. It did eventually stop, but it was definitely enough rain where like 3 of the 4 markets that were on my list got canceled. So we were like, well, we already bought our bus tickets, so I guess we'll go anyway. We actually took the bus to Tokyo this time. Sometimes we take the bus, sometimes we take the train. But taking the bus to Tokyo for us takes about, I would say, like 2 hours, 15 minutes. So we usually meet up at our local train station to board our bus together. And it left at 6:50 this morning. Definitely earlier than we wanted, but buses actually tend to sell out really quickly here on the weekends, but especially on holiday weekends. So if you are like planning to go somewhere over a holiday, you have to buy bus tickets and even train tickets a lot of times pretty early. So after we transferred trains at Tokyo Station, the first area that we hit up was an area called Tenozu Isle. But I always say island in my head. Tenozu Island. It's quite close to Shinagawa Station, but it's an area that is really known for featuring a lot of like art exhibitions, and it has like art supply stores. That was where one of the markets on my list was that I wanted to go to, and was the only market that didn't get canceled because it was actually an indoor market. So because of that, we could still go. So to get there, you have to take the Tokyo monorail, which is not a train line that I take very often. This was Faith and I trying to get on our train. What I didn't film, unfortunately, was the part where Faith and I actually jumped on the wrong train, and we were almost on our way to Haneda Airport. Or we definitely would have been if we hadn't jumped through the closing doors at the very last second. So after we got there, we decided to go find some food. This place had some like really fun selections. It was also incredibly busy, as you can see. There were definitely no seats available inside when we went in, so we had to kind of grab our food and run. Fortunately for us, there was this sort of floating terrace thing outside on the bay that was actually open to customers of the bakery. Everything we got from this bakery was delicious, and there were so many other things I wanted to try, so I definitely want to head back sometime. We both thought there was going to be AC in here, and there wasn't.
There's not.
So, what did you get though? Show it off.
I got this sandwich. I don't remember what it's called. I'm sure I have footage of it. But it looks like it has like egg, ham, and cheese with some crusty cheese on top in the good way.
That's all you need.
Crusty in a good way.
Yeah. I got this lemon muffin and some sort of like salmon potato salad. It's a pretty new market, so it's not very big yet. There weren't too many vendors, but we had a really great time regardless. We got to chat with some really cool people, including this gal who used to live in the Czech Republic, and she was selling various Czech sweets. She was really nice. We bought some stuff from her. Whatever I got was like, it had like lemon jam on the inside. It was really good. It's It's an area that's really known for its secondhand slash vintage clothing stores. So there's a lot of them in the area and a lot of cool like coffee shops and stuff. It's very much kind of a Harajuku vibe, so there's a lot of like young people that hang out there. And the first place that we stopped, I think the name of the building was Toyo Department Store, but it was this kind of shared space that had a bunch of different um, like shops and vendors on the inside. This place was really sick, actually, but there were a bunch of different shops in here, and they were selling used clothes, handmade jewelry. Yeah, there's this one shop that you're seeing right now. It had some really cool clothes and jewelry. They were absolutely blasting Disney music the whole time. There was also some shops that were selling like streetwear and vintage tees, as well as like artist originals. On our way to the next store, we actually ducked into this Tsutaya bookstore, and I've seen these all over the place. I think it's kind of Japan's answer to Barnes and Noble. On a more random note, I need y'all to peep this absolutely staggering amount of Levi from Attack on Titan stuff.
That's so good. It's Halloween.
I'm sure they saw right now. Oh my gosh, the whole thing!
This is like
The whole thing isn't just him.
Oh, they're different down here.
Oh, who's your favorite character in Attack on Titan and why is it Levi? So after that, we went into Kinji. This is a store that I've seen on lots of lists and like travel vlogs and stuff about vintage clothing stores or secondhand clothing stores in Tokyo. Kinji is one of the bigger ones, and I think there's like 2 or 3 different Kinji locations. The one that we were in is the original location, but it's a bigger store, and well, at least bigger than most of the other stores in the area. And because of that, it didn't seem like it was as overwhelmed by crowds.
Someone from Troop 349. You missing your scout shirt?
It was a Halloween costume. Keep in mind though that a lot of the stores in this area, they're not necessarily thrift prices, they're more like consignment prices. After we were done in here, we actually realized that being in Shimokitazawa, we were actually really close to this other bakery. Yes, you heard correctly. We went to 2 different bakeries on this day. It's called Shirohige's Cream Puffs. And if you are a big fan of Studio Ghibli movies, you may have actually heard of this place already. It's not officially affiliated with Studio Ghibli, but it's this tiny bakery just in the neighborhood of Shimokitazawa, and it's known for selling cream puffs that look like Totoro from My Neighbor Totoro. They're just the cutest. I will speak about this forever for the rest of my life. This place really lived up to all of our expectations. They were so nice. There are 5 different flavors, at least on the day, there were 5 different flavors to choose from. Faith ended up getting the original custard flavor, and I got blueberry. Look at these. They're so freaking cute. They were so good. So the reason Faith and I were under a bit of a time crunch at this point is because she had like one thing that she really wanted to do on this day, and it was to go to this specific character cafe that was happening in Shibuya, and so we needed to get there before it closed. So if you're watching this, there's probably a good chance that you already know all about character cafes in Japan, but if you're not in the know, character cafes are these special, like limited time only pop-up cafes that are used to promote various anime and like other Japanese IP. They always have menus of themed food and drink items. They're also famous for selling like very exclusive merch that will only be sold at that particular cafe in that particular span of time and nowhere else. I had not been to a character cafe myself since I've been here because they're so exclusive. You have to make reservations in advance. Sometimes they do the lottery system and stuff, so they can be kind of hard to like, not hard to get into necessarily, but just kind of a hassle to get into. So I had not been to one yet. I think the closest thing that I have experienced to like a character cafe is last year when I went to USJ with some of my friends. While we were there, they had this like huge campaign going on to celebrate the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen, and they had like special attractions and these like special themed cafe food and drink items. So we went in one of the cafes that sold the Jujutsu Kaisen stuff, and we ordered these JJK themed desserts, and they're really nice actually. I got some like Itadori blood orange thing, whatever. But it was the best thing that I ate in the park that day. So, anyways, they're extremely popular, and like I said, you have to make reservations and stuff usually. But this particular cafe that Faith wanted to visit was for a newer anime that's called Kaiju Number 8. Kaiju Number 8, I think. It's a show that I haven't seen, but she is a big fan of. So that is the character cafe that was happening. And apparently, the team that was in charge of it, because it's so new, like they were really concerned that it wouldn't be that popular. So they actually didn't require advanced reservations. So we decided we would go by on the day to see if there was any seats available. Of course, going to this cafe also meant having to go into Shibuya. And because it was taking place in the Parco building, which is this like massive high rise in the middle of Shibuya, and there's a ton of stores and stuff inside, including the Pokemon Center, the Nintendo store, and the Shonen Jump store. So like huge tourist draw. And like I said, it was really busy. So going there meant we had to cross through the Shibuya Scramble crossing, which is always a bit of a headache on the weekends. But the good news is that when we finally made it there, the line was really short for the cafe. So I guess their PR team was right. God bless. So we didn't have to wait long at all. And it was like, honestly, it was a really cool experience, even though I had never seen the show. So I didn't like understand everything that was in there. But when we got seated, Faith did explain the entire plot of the show to me. And a lot of times with these character cafes, there is usually a policy where you have to order at least one food or drink item for entry. So I decided not to order any food because it was kind of expensive. But I did order this drink, and it was just called like chocolate drink or something, some really like nondescript. It turned out to just be this like really fancy chocolate milk. Faith got this some kind of like burger and this really fancy looking drink that had sorbet on top. And we had a really lovely time in there. And yeah, it was great that it wasn't as crowded as we were afraid it might be. We did go in the merch shop, but I couldn't really film in there because it was small and extremely crowded. It was more crowded in there than in the actual cafe. Faith did get some things, but yeah, like I said, I couldn't film in there because I couldn't move my arms or my elbows. However, there was one other thing on my list. It was a place that I have also kind of been wanting to visit just out of sheer curiosity, and that was to visit the Starbucks Reserve Roastery that's in Tokyo. They're very rare. There's only 7 in the world right now, but they're kind of famous for serving lots of menu items, drink items, and stuff that you can't find at like any other Starbucks. So I grabbed some dinner for myself, which I didn't vlog because I just went in a Shake Shack. There's a Shake Shack in Shibuya now. Nobody cares about that. It's Shake Shack. But this place was massive, so much bigger than I thought it was going to be. This place had, I think, like 5 different levels to it. So the first sort of ground floor level is where the main coffee bar was. and also like a store. And get this, they had a pizzeria here. I have never seen such a thing at any Starbucks in my life ever, but this place had a whole pizzeria. And to be honest, the pizza looked really good. It actually looked like deep dish from where I was standing. We had to go all the way to the 5th level before we found an available seat. And every level had its own sort of outdoor terrace that you could sit on as well. But we're talking about Tokyo in the middle of July. So that absolutely wasn't happening. To be perfectly honest with you, if we had been in a scenario where there were not any seats available on the inside at all, I would have just sat on the floor. It was absolutely roasting. As for what we ordered, Faith is a little bit disappointed because right now they're serving this peach frap, and that's what Faith was going to get, but we were told that you couldn't order fraps at this particular Starbucks.
And they don't have the peach thing for, he's like, because this is an original store. And I was like, we don't have this in America. America is the original store. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't have it?
So she ended up going to the tea level and getting this hojicha latte, which smelled amazing. It smelled really yummy. But Faith and I both love hojicha. I got a dark chocolate mocha. So apparently it's special to this store. I hear dark chocolate and coffee together, and I don't need to hear anymore. Yeah, that's about it. I hope that you guys enjoyed kind of seeing what a sort of regular trip to Tokyo looks like for us. Let me know if this vlog was awful and I should never ever do it ever again. Okay, I am currently planning on my next video, and I really want to make something talking about like lesson planning specifically as an ALT. So hopefully I will see you guys there whenever that one goes up. And also thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed so far. This might be cliche, but I legitimately didn't know if anyone would ever subscribe to this channel when I started out. So yeah, huge thanks to all of you. And don't forget, if you have any comments or questions about anything I've talked about in these videos, definitely leave them in the comment section below. I will definitely try to get to those and read those. It's gotten dark on me. I think that about does it for this video. So again, hope you enjoyed it, and that's all, and bye.